Okay.
Originally, we were trying to create a scheduling tool, automating updates and schedules, trying to get a bunch of contractors to agree to timelines. As anybody knows in construction, that is impossible.
Damn near impossible. Yes.
Almost every single day, there's changes in schedules, there's overlap of trades. So we quickly, moved away from that. There's a lot of solutions out there too. You've got Microsoft Projects, you've got Monday, you've got good old-fashioned Excel spreadsheets and calendars. So got away from that and launched the product as you see today, basically off of a very simple marketing campaign where we said we've got millions of dollars worth of work and we're looking for guys to do work. Simply ran that in English and in Spanish, saw which ad converted really well. The Spanish one surprisingly converted extraordinarily. Within just a matter of a week or two, we had over 800 people signed up to our newsletter.
Wow.
Decided this is the direction we're going. We're creating a platform to match people who speak Spanish to people who have work. And that's how ManyBuild was born.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house. Buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Right now, yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donnie Corum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I am your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Mr. Donnie Corum. How y'all doing? Amazing to have this entire studio audience here in our office. Yeah. Just so many people fit in here. Then we got.
They're incredible.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I was talking about the audience.
Oh,
but you're good too, dude. You're the Foreclosure Deals Coach, man. You're why we're here today.
The damage is done now, brother. The damage is done.
Come on, man. All right.
That sultry voice you're hearing is my executive producer and generally an all-around badass. Today's a little questionable. Let's give it to Jonathan Winston.
Hey,
how you doing, Jay?
I don't know, man. Now that my badass meter has been, a bit detracted from, I'm feeling a little bit down in the dumps. But other than that, it's a good day, man. We've been getting a lot of leads, a lot of people interested in our properties, and a lot of good marketing techniques we've been employing this last month or so. So excited about talking to those people and, just helping some people out.
I'm telling you, the market has gone completely insane. Like all the leads, like houses selling in mere moments on the marketplace, appraisal gaps, paying over market, interest rates are low, dogs and cats living together, the oceans are boiling. It's just been an absolute pandemonium out there. It's not. We still talking about the same thing? All right, let's move on. Hey, I'm super excited to have our guest on today. I met this young man a few months back. His name is Alex. He's with ManyBuild. And before we bring him into the show, just a quick backstory. And correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, when we intro you in here, but we met a little while back with a fellow contractor, and this guy was so excited. He says, this Alex guy's completely changed the face of how people interact with builders. And I was like, hey man, you got to calm down. All right. Cause I don't know why you're so excitable. What's going on? And what is this software doing that somebody else hasn't done? It can't be that amazing. But then I met Alex Lovera at a house. We got to talking about basically, as he describes it, the Tinder, you're gonna love this, the Tinder of real estate subcontractors. Swipe right, swipe left.
I know a lot about that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Bet you do. You got a dating problem. We got to talk about that.
It's not a problem, man. It's all consensual stuff, man. It's all good.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Let's move on before that goes too deep. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Alex Lovera on the show. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, guys. That's an epic intro. I'm glad I got to hear that. Love the sound effects. This is awesome.
We're so happy to have you on the show. Now, let's start with the background. First of all, you are the CEO of ManyBuild Solutions. I'm at the website right now, ManyBuildSolutions.com. Just a little background. Where did the company start? What do you guys do? Give me the elevator pitch, if you would. Tell me how the whole thing works.
Yeah, the elevator pitch. We started our company about 2 years ago. I'm a third generation developer contractor, long lineage of general contractors in my family. Started off my career here working for a private equity real estate developer. And honestly, the way you see the current product today in the app is not how it started at all.
Okay.
Originally, we were trying to create a scheduling tool, automating updates and schedules, trying to get a bunch of contractors to agree to timelines. As anybody knows in construction, that is impossible.
Damn near impossible. Yes.
Almost every single day, there's changes in schedules, there's overlap of trades. So we quickly, moved away from that. There's a lot of solutions out there too. You've got Microsoft Projects, you've got Monday, you've got good old fashioned Excel spreadsheets and calendars. So got away from that and launched the product as you see today, basically off of a very simple marketing campaign where we said, we've got millions of dollars worth of work and we're looking for guys to do work. Simply ran that in English and in Spanish, saw which ad converted really well. The Spanish one surprisingly converted extraordinarily. Within just a matter of a week or two, we had over 800 people signed up to our newsletter.
Wow.
Decided this is the direction we're going. We're creating a platform to match people who speak Spanish to people who have work. And that's how ManyBuild was born.
I love that, man. I love that. So if you were to describe, and thank you for that. That was a great elevator pitch. It gives us an idea. What problem, if you could just summarize, what problem does ManyBuild solve that people have been dealing with for years in the contracting space? I mean, I got a great idea on how my company could use this with the 40 flips we did last year. But in a synopsis, what problems do you think ManyBuild is solving for real estate investors, which is my primary audience, or people who are real estate investors or want to be real estate investors? How does ManyBuild solve what problem?
So to put it simply is you've got too much work and don't have enough guys to do the work.
Sure.
You're constantly running into the problem where, Joe Schmo says he can do it all. He's either got a cousin or a nephew or a friend who can do the tile, can do the plumbing. And although you can find guys that can do it all, 9 out of 10, they can't.
That's so true.
So what we need to do, or what our job is we verify the guys for you.
This sounds
all of our time creating that.
This sounds like one of our operations meetings, Donnie. Like, yeah, the guy said he was going to be able to do all this stuff, and then we get in there and it doesn't look like what he said he was going to do. So.
Yeah, the problem is, getting my wife, who's my operations manager, not to choke said individual. That's been the real challenge, is like trying to avoid the violence that ensues afterwards. So people get your app, right? Let's start on the consumer side. So I'm a flipper. I'm an investor. I get your app. I start taking pictures of the work I want to get done. So I've got a drywall job and I want to install cabinets and I want to put countertops in. I take photos. I upload it into ManyBuild, and then it's basically matched with contractors who are interested in doing that service for me. Is that correct?
That's correct. You basically, just like the Tinder analogy that we were using earlier, you create a sexy profile of a project, that super sexy drywall sheet.
Yeah, it's super sexy. You got problems. We'll deal with that later.
That you need installed. You basically post that on our app.
Hey, Alex, you got to get out more, man. I don't have to tell you that.
COVID quarantine talking right now.
Ladies, Alex hadn't gotten out in a while. Okay, yeah. So if cabinets are getting sexy, we've crossed over to a threshold we can't come back from.
That's essentially what you do, right? You're promoting your project, you're promoting the stuff you need done, and then contractors who can see, well, that looks like a very simple cabinet for me to do, or that looks like a simple drywall job I can do. They get matched with you. And just like you've been promoting your project, it is their job to promote themselves. So they're submitting photos to us of jobs they've completed. We're doing reviews and we're certifying them for specific things, like they've got a company, they've got insurance. So that way you know who you're hiring. And if you take the risk of, hey, this guy said he can install hardwood floors, but all you see is photos of paint jobs, then you should probably be like, that's a red flag. I need to
swipe right.
Yeah.
Swipe left. Hey, I've got an interesting question. So, like you said, being that I've been on an online dating site before, one thing that I've always heard ladies talk about with guys is like poor pictures, like taking bad pictures and not really actually like show yourself. Is there, obviously these people are contractors that are doing this work, so they might not always, have the best picture taking skills to present their, to market their work. Do you all have anything in place to like help them with that? Or is there like a little suggestion? Hey, make sure you're getting these pictures, or how would you help somebody as far as a contractor, make sure they're presenting themselves the best way?
Yeah, no, that's a great question and a great point. That is our primary obligation to anybody who's creating a profile with us, is to help them complete their profile. So for now, since we are a tech company, but we are very human driven. So I will go out and help them take those photos. Also, the fact that you accept the work and then eventually need to submit photos of work being done in order to get paid, for instance, that we can then, if it's a good quality photo, automatically assign to your profile. But you're right. A lot of these guys are very bad at tracking their own progress and taking photos of their amazing work they do. And that's something we're trying to change.
I love that.
Great.
How do you define the pricing? So they got this picture, right? I think one of the issues we have is contractors are always on one side of the spectrum or the other, where they come in like just stupid high. You know, I want to put this sink in. Sure, that'll be $5,800.
Right.
Or the flip side of that, where it's like they come in too low and you know they can't possibly get the task done for that price. How do you find that happy medium on your app, on ManyBuild, and avoid people from underbidding or completely overbidding a job?
I mean, we do that by allowing you, person in charge of the project, to set your prices. Every time you post a project, there's a review process. Our team reviews all of the photos you've submitted, the trades you've requested, the description of the work, as well as the price you've suggested.
Okay.
That's how we then can control, okay, that price makes sense. Let's try and find somebody for that price for you, or we'll adjust it for you and put it a little higher. And that way find guys that would be able to do it for that new price. At the end of the day, you know, just like dating apps, we don't get involved with the prenups. We don't get involved with picking out the date locations. You know, don't meet behind an alley. Don't go, you know, to a late night spot that you've never been. Don't tell your friends that you're not going on a date. Like, you have to be transparent. We don't handle that far into the process. So setting your own prices, making sure you sign contracts, that's just good business hygiene. And that's still something that we make our users responsible for. However, part of the community aspect is that we do coach our subcontractors to do all that. A lot of the times these guys are used to handshake deals and get burned at the end of the day, or they don't price their stuff correctly, or they don't invoice correctly, and then payments get delayed. So we do try to coach, you know, both the real estate investor, telling them, hey, you know, communicate on the app so that way we know what's going on. First of all, don't try to send messages, or, you know, if you go ahead and hire somebody outside the platform, that's okay too. At the end of the day, we want you to give work to our guys, whether that's 1 or 2 jobs, or whether that's 100 jobs, whether you're posting that on the app or not. At the end of the day, you're going to end up breaking up, or you're not going to be busy anymore with that guy, and you're going to come back to the app. Or, you know, one time he's going to put paint everywhere, and then you're going to be like, all right, I want a different painter. So we try to promote everybody to keep communication in the app, so that way we can kind of play referee, play coach, and jump in wherever we can. Ultimately, pricing is up to each individual.
Right. Well, that is critical, right? Because you can't really, I mean, what it's worth to one person, not what it's worth to another person. I love that you're tracking reviews and whatnot. So it's kind of a self-policing system where, you know, if the pricing is off / the job is not up to quality with the pricing, you know, we're house flippers. A lot of times we need a very basic entry level, just get the job done remodel, you know. But if a guy's trying to build a custom home and he's doing an upper end thing, it's going to be a whole different thing where you need a much higher end product. So how do you differentiate the high end contractors, I guess, from the low end contractors, or is it just a matter of how they bid the job?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the price to quality ratio, right? Like, I have no issues paying an extremely high price if the quality is up to that standard. So I think that we'll solve that eventually through data and just understanding who can do what work through reviews. I think early on, industry partners and who has referred certain people to the platform will play a very huge role. That's part of kind of the profile as well, as you'll be able to see who's invited who to the platform. So, you know, the previous individual that gave me such an amazing review, Ray's Remodel, shout out Ray Vieira. He is a very reputable flipper in town. Some people really rely on his knowledge. If somebody sees a subcontractor that they're about to award work to, and they see, you know, Ray Vieira has invited or endorsed this person, they'll feel more comfortable. Same as a maybe custom home builder. If we get a custom home builder who partners up with us and invites a bunch of contractors onto the platform, you'll be able to see, okay, X, Y, and Z custom home builder who's known for doing, multi-million-dollar homes has endorsed this person. So you can probably anticipate a good product for higher end home.
I love that. Love that. And one of the things you mentioned, I mean, obviously a big push of the Hispanic community, and obviously there's a lot of great Hispanic contractors, but that's been a challenge, obviously, is the language barrier sometimes dealing with that. You mentioned that within the app, it does translation services as well, so you can communicate with them. Tell me more about that.
Yes, I mean, it's critical. A lot of times creating these mobile platforms, people already struggle with the technology, and then you throw into the mix as the language barrier as well. Good luck trying to get people to use the app, right? And the construction community is predominantly Hispanic. No matter where you go in this country, at the end of the day, the guys who are actually doing the work are Hispanic, from Latino descent. So our app, if you select, it's the first question you actually get asked when you sign up. First or second question is what's your preferred language? Is it English or Spanish, or are you bilingual? And then it'll default to English. Depending on which language you select, if you're an English speaker speaking with a Spanish speaker, in-app, in chat, the conversation will be translated for you live. All of the text as well gets translated for you to your preferred language. So even the description of the job, the title of the project, the buttons, the profile, everything changes for you to Spanish or English, depending on your language. And that way we can, you get access to better prices because you're dealing directly with the guys that are actually out in the field doing the jobs. And they get access to more work that, before they might have been very intimidated to engage with because they just didn't understand the plans or didn't understand the what they needed to get done. At the end of the day, construction is construction. We're not trying to create an app for you to socialize and talk about the weather and how your kids are doing at football and, what's your favorite restaurant. It's to talk about, framing, drywall, hanging cabinets. So even if the translation is loosely off, but they can see a photo and a loosely translated description of the work they need to get done, by the time they show up on the job, they're fully understanding of the work that needs to be done, and they can give you a price and get straight to work.
Hi, this is Donnie Coram, your foreclosure deals coach. It's important to have good credit when you're buying a foreclosure. A lot of people think you can come in with bad credit, but the fact of the matter is you need pretty stable credit scores to buy a foreclosure deal. So how do you find out how to increase your credit? Well, there's tons of credit repair agencies out there and multiple formulas, but one thing we found that works is reporting your monthly rental payments to the credit bureau. We partnered with rentreporters.com, the leading provider of adding your payment history direct from your landlord onto your credit bureau scores, and it helping people to boost their scores up to 40 points in as little as 30 days. So to get started, I want you to head on out to www.foreclosuredealscoach.com. Now that's a messenger bot, and you're going to use the keyword rent to get more information about Rent Reporters and how you can boost your credit score by getting your rental reported to the credit bureaus. Once again, Donnie Coram, your foreclosure deals coach. Check it out. I love that. And I think, a couple of great points you made is there is a high propensity of Hispanic people in the marketplace for construction. It's a very honorable profession. You can develop a skill set very well. And in my experience, our Hispanic crews are really, really hardworking guys, So sometimes the issue is just getting them connected with the work. And it sounds like you're really bridging that gap and helping them out with that. What do you think what's the future hold for ManyBuild? What do you want it to do next? What are the development options? What areas are you hoping to cross into? Obviously, you can never stay still in the software business, so you're always pushing to the next level. What's coming next?
So one of the biggest pushes that we are working towards now, we started off with the marketplace. Now we're working on the profiles, more of the, showcasing your craft. That is a huge feature that we'll be pushing towards the end of this month, early next. So you'll be able to really dive into those profiles that we were speaking about earlier. Okay. Technology speaking, we would be implementing payment processing as well. Oh, wow. There's a huge issue of fraud as on both sides of the spectrums. I've seen contractors take advantage of real estate investors take advantage of contractors. It goes both ways. There's a huge propensity for fraud, especially online. You get into Facebook groups and try to award work to guys you meet off Facebook. Some guys take a check, they disappear. Other investors get work done and they don't pay. So what we would like to do is be able to track who gets work awarded, and then as soon as you want to award the work and then pay for work completed, basically process payments. So that way, in addition to generating a subscription revenue for monthly membership, we'd be able to process transaction fees as well.
I love that.
From a business standpoint, we're really focused right now. There's tons of remodels going on, big projects, but from a business standpoint, it's trying to get smaller projects on there. We're looking at doing, inspection objections for home buyers and real estate brokers.
Very cool.
Hundreds of those every single day, probably. I don't know.
Yep. Every day.
We're trying to get into that space where we can, get you an estimate within 72 hours based off the photos and the very detailed description of work that needs to be done. We have our own database of all pricing and stuff that we've seen in the market. We did a small trial run with another brokerage. Didn't work out. We weren't ready for the workload. So we went back, dialed it back a bit. Now we're ready to kind of launch and take on some new brokerage partners, and hopefully that way keep enough work on the platform so that when those big remodels come along, there's plenty of people ready and able to get that going.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys got a lot of great expansion plans. Where do you think the shortcomings of the app are now? I mean, obviously you're always working on bug fixes. You're always trying to get through it. I know you don't have to beat your whole app up, but if there are areas right now where you feel like it's a problem and you guys are working through it right now, what do you think the main weakness is of ManyBuild right now?
The main weakness is really letting people understand what we're doing. And the fact of our revenue model seems to be something, or our business model seems to be something that people just simply don't understand. People are so used to, not to badmouth these bigger companies, but they're so used to the home advisors, the thumbtacks, those, lead generation companies that exist in the world that charge you for leads that they don't vet. They don't give you any information on what the job is. They don't even know if it's a real job. I'm personally myself guilty of going on Home Advisor to get pricing and then just wasting a bunch of contractors' times without knowing that they just build them all for those leads. So that is something that we've been trying to break through. People understand, hey, it's free. So there's a trustworthiness factor.
Right.
That's pretty predominant in the Latino community, especially because there's a lot of technology and fraud that's been targeted towards that demographic. So as soon as another app comes along, they think it's another scheme. They think it's us trying to take money from them. And it's, a lot of that is, I think we'll break through marketing, creating our own a strong and trustworthy brand, and then just letting our users speak for us. Going back to Raymond, who gave us an amazing intro. It's getting guys like that and making it work. All of this sounds amazing. All of this Tinder for construction is great, but if at the end of the day it doesn't create true value for our users, if we're not getting projects on the platform, if we're not basically making people money, the app is useless. It could be a great idea, but we got to be putting money in, the investors' pockets and in the contractors' pockets in order for this to grow.
I love that. And being able to be honest about where your shortcomings are. And I think that's such a big deal. You're right. The home advisor thing has done a lot of damage to the, job sharing market, as it were. I mean, the home advisors, the thumbtack model, has been very difficult for these guys. Like you said, going out in quotes they weren't going to get anyway, and because it was being used as a bidding system. So bringing that in and that it's free is going to be really awesome. But obviously, if you're not charging them for it, how are you going to make money? What's the monetization strategy? How do people, when they sign up for the app, what do they pay for when they're part of your app?
So for the membership, those are just for additional bonus features. It's completely free to get on the app because we're trying to attract guys who are also too busy. Those are the guys that are really good that we've won on the app, and they're not inclined to pay for more work because they have plenty. But the way we monetize beyond the freemium model is the ManyBuild profiles, where you can display your craft, get badges, certifications. For that, it's basically an Instagram page for your business meets a professional website. That one starts at $18 a month. And then we have services going all the way up to $700 a month, If you needed help with your own virtual assistant, we'll get you set up with the virtual assistant to help you with invoicing, estimates, contract reviews. And basically, we train you up on how to bill and communicate properly with real estate investors and with clients in general. Proper hygiene of using contracts, invoicing in time, not expecting payment as soon as you get an invoice. It's pretty typical to wait 5 to 15 business days before the investor gives you a check. So don't panic, but make sure you submit an invoice, right? You can't just expect payment to fall out of the sky.
That's right.
So a lot of these things, they just need to be trained. The guys just need to learn that. I mean, I graduated from DU here, and you don't learn that in school. So these are things that guys in the field, especially skilled craftsmen, they know it's important, but that's not the top of their mind. Business administration and sitting behind a computer sending invoices is not what they do. They want to be in the field working with their hands.
Absolutely.
So depending on how much help they need, our membership goes from $18 to $700, and then here pretty soon we have our own payment processor that's being launched. We'll be able to process transaction fees as well. So that way we're monetizing even the free of charge members.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I think you guys got an incredible platform. I think it's going to be a huge amount of building out. Obviously, you're in the Denver market primarily now. What's the plan? I mean, we're a national show. So what's the plan for expanding into other states? How long will that build out take? When can people expect to have ManyBuild contractors in a state near them?
So I've always said my team has been pushing because they're like, well, if we're in another state, then you physically can't do it. And you have to have, hire right and train the right team. I'm of the opinion we need to dominate the Denver market. The Denver market is booming. I believe it's the second or third in the nation with flips and just deal volume. So there's plenty of pie to go around in the Denver market. But the next one we would launch in, I believe would be in Memphis or Nashville, because I have some good college friends that have some contacts there that are doing about 50 flips, 60 flips a year, because we want to just make sure for the first couple projects we're partnered with a local investor or builder that can give us the volume of work we need to basically attract the right contractors to come do the work. And that way it just self-propagates and grows on its own.
Yeah, and you mentioned we were doing the opener of the show. It really is a which comes first, chicken or the egg scenario, right? So you want to first go procure enough jobs, right? Kind of, and then get the contractors who can do the jobs, right? Yeah. So that's got to be the struggle, is making sure you're getting the jobs out there. So obviously you're going to target investors like my group doing a lot of flips and things of that nature. So, if you're out there listening, guys, and you want to take advantage of this, you're a high level flipper in your local market, definitely reach out to Alex. Maybe, you can be next up on their list of expansion markets to go out there, but it really is a matter of getting the work there first so we can make sure we can attract the right contractors to the platform, right? Yes,
absolutely. So, in any major city, if you are, doing anywhere from 10 or more flips a year, we'd want to partner with you. We basically give you an organized way to promote your projects, to find more contractors. Who doesn't like more bid options and more contractors to choose from?
Absolutely.
Everybody's got their A team of players and contractors they like to use. Let us be your backup bench, or let us be the guys you lean on once your painter calls in sick, or you overloaded him with too much work and he can't come in and you need to be scrambling looking for a painter. That is really where we will bring you the most value and truly shine. So, awesome. Early on partnerships is something we're definitely hunting for whenever we expand into a new city. You can reach us on ManyBuildSolutions.com or just shoot me an email at alex@ManyBuildSolutions, and we can discuss on how that kind of partnership would look like.
Yeah, I love that. And please do. Again, if you're listening to the show on a national basis right now, you're not in the Colorado market, you want to expand out. We're definitely interested. We're based out of Denver. Most of our flips are in Colorado Springs, and we certainly want to be a part of this movement and helping you get contractors right here in the Springs market where we're focusing. But this could really take over, right? I mean, you guys would be super excited about the possibilities of the future of an app like this, right?
Absolutely. I mean, construction as an industry as a whole industry, it hasn't really adopted technology. It's been one of the lagging industries to adopt, a mobile technology revolution, let's call it. You've got, the financial sector, fintech and cryptocurrency madness going on, and there's new companies popping up for that. However, in the construction side of things, there isn't really a dominant market force. I'm of the opinion it's because all of these tools that are out there really serve the kind of executive management branch of construction, but they haven't built the tools for the little guy, right? The contractors that do the work. And that's kind of where we predominantly focus on. And it's kind of funny to see that as we build out more features, we're starting to hit that overlap where now the things that the contractors really need are the same things that the general contractors, project managers need. And now we're kind of meeting the project managers in the middle. And as long as we've got plenty of guys to do the work, project managers will all be posting jobs and looking for guys to work, because that's predominantly the issue at hand. To create a management tool, everybody's got their own management style. People still do it on napkins and notepads. I don't see that ever going away. Excel is an extremely versatile tool. So to try to compete against those, Stone Age tools that have just been around and are tried and true, I think is a mistake. And hopefully, that hunch that we are pursuing turns out to be the right one. And since construction is still so behind in kind of adopting technology, we'll be the go-to community and construction marketplace in the country and then hopefully the world.
I love that, man. That's an incredible goal, incredible platform. I'm super excited for you. Let's wrap up. I think you've got the general idea out there. How can they get in touch with you, Alex? What's the best way to for people to reach out? I know you mentioned your email address, the website. Could you give people just a reference point so they can contact you and start down the road of becoming part of the ManyBuild community? How can they reach out?
Yeah, so even the more direct way is I can, my personal number is 720-375-1696. You reach me on my cell phone. We've got our website, like I previously mentioned, www.manybuildsolutions.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Just follow us, ManyBuild Inc. on Instagram and Facebook. And then you can also shoot me an email, alex@manybuildsolutions.com, or my co-founder, Stefan, at manybuildsolutions.com.
I love it, man. And listen, whether you're a contractor, whether you're an investor, whatever your needs are in the construction industry, why don't you check out ManyBuildSolutions.com? Reach out to Alex. I feel like this thing is really going to take off once more people know about it. We are super honored to have you on the show, Alex. Will you come back and talk to us again as things expand and you start getting more contractors you know what to do with, just kind of report the great news about ManyBuild?
Absolutely. We've kind of been growing in dark mode, and I think this is one of the more public platforms we've been on to spread the good word. And this year is definitely going to be a big year. Our technology is caught up to our ambitions and what we want to sell and get out there. So I will definitely commit to getting on this show, let's say a year from now, and report back with the progress.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited about that. That's going to be awesome.
We're happy that you're here first.
Yeah, that's right.
You're here first.
Well, that's Foreclosure Deals, Coach. We always get there first because we are just that awesome. Hey, once again, I want to give it up for Mr. Alex Lovera. Thank you for coming on the show today, man. Just been incredible having you. The studio audience loves you. Jonathan loves you. I love you. We're so happy to have you. We do want to keep in touch with you, keep tracking the progress of the ManyBuild vision. Once again, if you're out there as a contractor or an investor, you're looking to take advantage of this incredible software platform, head on out to ManyBuild Solutions, reach on out to Alex and discuss what you're looking to do. I really feel like we can help this platform to grow, and it's just going to be an amazing thing for everybody out there trying to be part of the investment space. So really appreciate you coming on the show, sir. Any party thoughts, anything else you want to tell us before we wrap up today?
Not at all. Thank you guys for the opportunity. Look forward to serving, hundreds, if not thousands of real estate investors across the nation. So thank you.
We're excited to have you and excited to be a part of that. Hey guys, listen, the idea of being a hardcore flipper, hardcore investor is that you're on the cutting edge of technology. Okay. If you're doing it the way your forefathers did it, you're already behind. So here on Foreclosure Deals Coach, we go out of our way to bring you the latest and greatest of what's going on in foreclosure investing technology, be it contractor management, be it investment management. And we bring it right here because the best tech is going to make you and your team superior in the flipping space. So super honored to have Alex from ManyBuild on the show. And listen, when you're out there hoofing it, you got to remember, okay, there's a bunch of houses out there, right? But at the end of the day, we always say right here on the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, don't you dare buy a house, buy a deal.
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Like our Facebook page, Foreclosure Deals Coach, for the latest in real estate and foreclosure investing. Become a part of our community. Search Foreclosure Deals Coach on Facebook to join today.